Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making the tutorial for this beautiful summer top. It is a step-by-step detailed tutorial, so it is beginner friendly. If you are new to crochet, this is a top that you can make for yourself or for a loved one. Alright, if you've not subscribed to my channel before, please do so now. You don't want to be missing out on all these beautiful tutorials. So without any further ado, let us get into today's tutorial. Okay, so for this project, these are the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need your yarn, of course. I'm using this beautiful acrylic yarn, the nude color. It is a 2-ply yarn, so I'm going to be putting 2 strands together because I don't want the strands to be this tiny. So if I'm putting 2 strands together, automatically this becomes an acrylic 4-ply yarn that I'm using for this project. All right, so now you're going to need your scissors, you're going to need your measurement tape, you're going to need a tapestry needle, some stitch markers, and on this one I'm going to be working with a 4mm hook size. All right, so let us get into it. So to begin, you are going to chain up 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. All right. So now that we have our 25 as our foundation chain, you are going to start by chaining up 2, 1 and 2, and on the 4th stitch you are going to go in with a double crochet. All right, and then on the next stitch you're going to be going in there with a double crochet, and on the next stitch you're going to be going in there with a double crochet. So for this row 1, you are just going to be putting in 1 double crochet on each of the stitches until you get to the very end, and make sure that your stitches ended up being 25. All right, so I'm going to go off camera now to do my own to the end, and I'll meet you here. All right. Okay, so I've gotten to the end of the row 1. So now to begin the row 2, you are going to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work to the other side. So this second row is going to be an increase row. All right, and this chain 3 now is going to be serving as 1 double crochet for us. All right, so on this same stitch now, you are going to be going in there with 1 more double crochet. That's going to be our very first increase. All right, so now on the next stitch you're going to be going in there with a normal double crochet. So you're going to be putting in double crochet all across this row until you get to the end here, and when I get here I'll come back to show you how we are going to be ending it here. All right, okay, so I'm at the end of the row 2 now. So for this end here now, we are going to be doing our next increase. You remember we begin the first one with 2 double crochets, so we are going to be putting in 2 double crochets on this chain 3 stitch at the end here. So that's 1 and this is 2. All right, so now to begin the row 3, you are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work to the other side. So this is going to be an increase row. So this 3 now, this chain 3 now, don't forget, is going to be serving as 1 double crochet. So on this same stitch, you're going to be going in there with 1 double crochet, and keep putting in 1 double crochet on each of the stitches until the end of this row. All right, and you are going to be doing exactly the same thing at the end as well. You're going to be doing the increase at the end, so keep putting in 1 double crochet all across. Then when you get to this end here, you are going to do the exact increase that you did here, 2 double crochet on the chain 3 stitch that we begin with right here. Okay, so I'm done with my row 3. So for the row 4, we are going to be starting our design that is going to be at the middle. So what you need to do now, you're going to be putting a stitch marker on your very middle stitch. Okay, so what I did, I counted the numbers from here, counted the numbers from here, and this is the exact middle. So you go ahead now to do yours, because that is where we are going to be putting our shell stitch. All right, so now you are going to begin the row the exact way we've been doing it. You're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work to the other side. On this same stitch, you're going to be putting in 1 double crochet. We're going to be doing our normal increase as usual, and then keep putting in your double crochet on each of the stitches, just like this. Okay, so as you can see, I have 2 stitches left before the stitch marker. So what you're going to be doing now, you're going to skip that 2 stitch that is there before the stitch marker. Okay, so you're going to yarn over, then remove the stitch marker from there, just like this, and on that stitch you are going to be going in there with a cluster. All right, and now you're going to chain up 1, and on that same stitch you're going to be going in there with another cluster. Just like that. All right, so now you are going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and on the 3rd stitch you are just going to keep putting in your normal 1 double crochet on each of the stitches until you get to the very end, and then you are going to do your normal increase like we usually do, okay, by putting in 2 double crochet on the very last chain 3 stitch right here to end the row. Okay, so I'm done with the row 4. So to begin the row 5, we're going to be starting as usual. Chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work to the other side. Don't forget this chain 3 is serving as 1 double crochet. So on the same stitch, we're going to be doing our normal increase, and then on the next stitch you keep putting in your 1 double crochet as you go. All right, you keep putting in your 1 double crochet until you get to this middle point again. Then we are going to put in our shell stitch on the middle point. Okay, so on this middle part now, you see, after putting in my last double crochet, you are now going to just yarn over and go into that middle part with a cluster. 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to chain up 1, and on that same space you are going to be going in there with a cluster. 2 and 3, just like that. All right, so now you are going to be skipping the old cluster stitch and go into the previous double crochet right here. Please just watch what I'm doing, and then go in with your normal double crochet, and just keep putting in 1 double crochet on each of the stitches until you get to the ending, just like we've been doing. All right, and then you are going to do your normal increase at the end here. Put your 2 double crochet on that very chain 3 stitch, then chain up 3 again, then do your normal increase on the first stitch like we've been doing to begin. And then when you get to this middle part here, I'll come back to show you how we are going to be doing the middle part again. Okay, so I've gotten to the middle now, and we're about to put our 3rd shell stitch. All right, so this one is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be doing our increase inside the shell. Okay, so now you know we have 3 stitches here, which is the cluster stitch. You're going to yarn over and then go into the space. Now you're going to do a cluster. Put in your very first cluster. So you know we usually chain up just one to put in the second cluster, but this time around we're going to making 2 chains, 1 and 2. So on that same space you're going to be going in there with another cluster, 2 and 3. So that's our increase for the cluster stitch on rule 3, on the row 3 of the clusters. All right, so what row are we in now? 1 2 3 4 5 6th row. Okay, so now you are going to keep doing your normal double crochet as you go. So don't forget, skip this whole cluster stitch and go into the next double crochet stitch right here and do a normal double crochet. So keep putting in your double crochet as you go. All right, keep putting in your 1 double crochet as you go. When you get to the very end here, do your normal increase and then chain up 3, do your normal increase, and I'll meet you in the middle again to show you how we do our shell stitch. Okay, I've gotten to the middle again. So what we did in the row 3, that is what you are going to repeat for this row 4 now, for the shell stitch area. So on this row now, you are going to yarn over and then go into the space, the chain 1 space, and then you are going to put in your very first cluster, and then you are going to chain up 2, and on that same space you are going to be going in there with another cluster, 1 2 and 3. All right, so now you are going to skip the cluster stitch here again and go into the previous double crochet and do a double crochet on that stitch, and just keep doing your normal double crochet as you go on each of the stitches. And then when you get to the end, you do your normal increase and chain up 3, do your normal increase to begin again. And when you get to the middle here again, I'll come back to show you what we are going to be doing for the 5th shell stitch in the middle. Okay, I'm in the middle now, so we're about to create our 5th shell stitch. All right, so let me do a little bit of recap. You know, for the first 2 beginnings we didn't do any increase right here. We just did a normal shell stitch in the middle, chain 1. Then for the next 2 shell stitches, this is the 3rd and the 4th one, we did the normal shell stitch but with 2 in the middle. But this one, the 5th shell stitch, is going to be different. Okay, so now to get to this point, you are going to chain up 1. You are going to do a chain 1 here, then yarn over, then you are going to put in your very first cluster on the chain 1 space inside the shell, and then you are going to chain up 2 and then put in another cluster inside the space, just like this. And now you are going to chain up 1 and skip the cluster stitch again and go into the previous double crochet stitch and do a double crochet. So now you keep doing your normal double crochet as we've been doing. All right, so now you get the pattern. So everything we do, we repeat it twice on this middle shell stitch. Okay, so now this number 5, now what we did, we chain up 1, put in our normal cluster, chain up 2 and a normal cluster, then chain up 1 again and continue doing the double crochet. So what you do the double crochet until this end here, chain up 3 and do your normal increase like we've been doing. Then when you get here again for the 6th one, you are going to repeat what we did in the 5th one. So I'm going off camera now to complete my 5 and do my 6th one, and I'll come back to show you how we are going to be doing our 7th shell. Okay, so now I'm on the 7th shell stitch. So we are going to be repeating what we did in the 5 and the 6th shell stitch. We are going to repeat it for 7 and 8 again. Okay, let me remind you, you are going to chain up 1 and then go into the chain 2 space and then do your first cluster, 2 and then 3, then chain up 2 and then go into same space with your second cluster, 3, and then you are going to chain up 1, and then skip this shell stitch and go into the previous double crochet stitch, and then put in your regular double crochet, and just keep doing the double crochet like we've been doing. Okay, you are going to keep doing the double crochet like we've been doing until you get to the end. Here you do your normal increase, chain up 3, do your normal increase, come back and do exactly the same thing. So the 5th shell stitch, 6th, 7th and 8th is going to be exactly the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera to complete mine, and I'm going to come back to show you how we are going to be doing our next shell stitch. All right. Okay, so I'm done with my 8th shell stitch. I'm about to start the 9th one now. So this 9th shell stitch is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so to begin that one, you are going to chain up 2, 1 and 2, and then you are going to create your normal cluster inside the chain 2 space of the shell stitch, 2 and 3, and then you're going to chain up 2 and put in another cluster on that same space, 2 and then 3, and now you're going to chain up 2 again, and then skip this old shell stitch and go into the previous double crochet stitch and do your regular double crochet, and on the next stitch you do your regular double crochet. So this is the increase for the 9th shell stitch, and that is what you are going to continue for the next 4 rows, and I'll come back to show you what we are going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I'm done with the next 4 rows now. So the increase on this next row is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so now as you can see, I did my regular increase in the beginning. So now to do the next shell stitch, you are going to be doing an increase at the end here just before the shell stitch now. Okay, so on this stitch before the shell stitch, you are going to be going in there with 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, and now you are going to chain up 2, and then you are going to create your shell by putting in 1 cluster, 1, 2 and 3, and then chain up 2 and put in another cluster, 2 and 3, and then chain up 2 again, and then this previous double crochet stitch right here, you're going to be going into that stitch with 2 double crochet like we did on the other side. So the next decrease is going to be the next increase, sorry, is going to be the stitch just before the cluster and the stitch just after the cluster, but you are still going to be doing your regular increase on this beginning and this ending parts. So this is exactly what you continue until you get to the length of your top that you want. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera to create my own length, repeating exactly what I showed you here now. Increase here, increase in the beginning, increase just here, and increase here. Okay, until I get my length, and I'll come back to show you what we're going to be doing next. Okay. Okay, so I'm done putting in all of my rows now, and I'm very satisfied with this length. So with this length, I got exactly 14.5, which I'm going for. So I'm satisfied with this length now. All right, see how beautiful this looks. So the next step now is going to be putting single crochet all around, and then we go ahead to make our strap that is going to lace up the back. Okay, so let us get into that. Okay, so to begin the single crochet, you are just going to chain up 1 and then turn your work to the other side. So on this very first stitch now, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet, and the next stitch you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. So for this single crochet, you are not doing any increase whatsoever. Okay, you're just going to be putting in 1 single crochet on each of the stitches, just like this. All right, so when you get to this middle part, I'm going to come back to show you how you are going to put in the single crochet on this part. All right. Okay, so I've gotten to the middle now. I just want to show you how we do this part here. Okay, so you know we have a chain 2 here before the cluster stitches. So on this chain 2 space, you are going to be doing a slip stitch on the chain 2. So that's 1, and on the next chain stitch, you're going to be putting in a slip stitch. Okay, and then you go ahead to put in 1 single crochet on each of the cluster stitches, just like this. And when you get to the chain stitches again in the middle, you're going to be doing a slip stitch on the 2 chain stitches. Just like this, and then continue doing your normal single crochet on the cluster stitches. Then when you get to the chain stitches again, you go on to put the normal slip stitch on the chain stitches. Then you continue doing your normal single crochet all around. Okay, so you are going to be doing it until you get to this part here. So when I get here, I'll come back to show you what we're going to be doing here. Okay. Okay, so I'm done putting in the single crochet on the sides here now. So we are at this point here, the top point here. So from here now, we are going to be making the strap, the very long strap that is going to lace up the back. Okay, so to begin on that one now, you are going to be putting in a single crochet on this very last stitch here. Please just watch what I'm doing, okay? So you put a single crochet on this stitch right here. Okay, so now you are going to chain up. I'm going to be making 250 chains. So you go ahead now to make the chain that will be long enough to actually go through your back. Okay, so I'm going to be doing 250 for my own. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go off camera. When I get to my 250 chains, I'm going to come back to show you what we're going to be doing next. Okay. Okay, so I'm done with my strap chain. I ended up doing just 200 instead of the 250. It's just better to be safe than sorry. All right. So now the next step is going to be doing a single crochet all across this chain now down to this top here. So I'm going off camera to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, so I'm done putting in the single crochet on the strap, and this is how it's looking. So now to connect it back to the top, so this is what you're going to do. After putting in the very last single crochet here now, you see this place where this stitch where we put the last single crochet before we made the chain. You are going to be going in there with a single crochet, but you won't finish it. We are going to be decreasing with the next stitch. Okay, so you are going to go in there with a single crochet. So now that you have 2 on your hook, you are going to go into the very next stitch right here and then pull out a loop. Now that you have 3 on your hook, you are going to yarn over and pull out all 3 loops. Okay, so now you are going to continue putting in 1 single crochet on each of the stitches, just like this, until you get to this other end here. All right, and we are going to be doing exactly the same thing we did on this part. We are going to be doing it on this part. Okay, so now I'm on the second to the last stitch. So we still have our chain 3 stitch here. So we still have that one. So from this second to last stitch now, that is where you are going to be doing your chains. Okay, exactly what we did here. So do your chains and do the single crochet back. All right, and I will meet you here to show you how we are going to be doing our decrease on this part. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm done with my single crochet on my second strap, and now we are going to be doing the decrease right here to connect it back to the top. Okay, to connect it back to the top. All right, so like we did in this other part, you are now going to go in here with a single crochet, this particular stitch where you started the chain from. You go there now, yarn over, pull out a loop. So now that you have 2 on your hook, you're not going to go into the chain 3 stitch right here at the end here, pull out a loop. Now that you have 3 on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull out all 3 loops. Okay, so this is how you connect it to the body. All right, so now you continue doing single crochet all across down to this end here. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera now to continue putting in my single crochet, and I'll meet you right here. Okay, so on this next space now, you're going to be going in there with 2 single crochets, and on the next space you're going to go in with 2 single crochets. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end here now, so all I just need to do is cut off the yarn and then tie it just like that. Okay, so we are done with our top, and this is how it's looking. So if you want to lace it up now, you're going to turn it to the back and just cross it over like this, and cross this part over to this part, and then you are going to be fixing the straps just like this. All right, and make sure the one you are going into here, that is the exact one that you go into here too. Okay, just like that, and then bring this one back here and go into the next place, and then take this one to the other side. Okay, so this is it. I think it's this one. Okay. And now we're going to be going into the very last one here at the bottom, and then do it on the other side as well. Okay, so here you go. This is our top, and then you're going to tie it. You can see the beauty here. But on the mannequin is looking so beautiful. So this is how the back is going to be looking, and this is how the front is going to look when it's all tied up. Okay, so this is it. So I'm just going to go ahead now to weave in my ends, and we'll be done with our top finally. All right, so with this we've come to the end of today's tutorial. All right, so if you enjoy watching this video as much as I did making the video, make sure to like the video. All right, and if you've not subscribed to my channel before now, please do so now. You don't want to be missing out on all these beautiful tutorials that I post on here. All right, and make sure you click on that tiny notification bell below so that whenever I post any tutorial just like this, you will get the alerts. All right, so you won't miss out on any of this beauty right here. So make sure you share this video to your friends and your family who wants to make something as beautiful as this. And if you have any questions about this project, put it on the comment section and I will be happy to help. All right, so until next time, bye bye.